All right, welcome. It is Man Cave. It is Tuesday, so it is Man Cave. It's time for us to talk about the issues that I realize people can't talk about freely, but we give you the platform. That's how we do. That's how we do. Yes, sir. So today we're talking about a very interesting topic. We're calling it My Mobile Relationship, and we are basically talking about, are mobile phones ruining relationships? Are they building relationships? Should you share your PIN, for example? Of course, we have Sheila Komboka and the very loud. No.
You know, you guys are going to make me start using sign language and just
Pastor Kuria.
He ducked this story. He was like, missing with it.
Mobile.
I was running a public holiday.
Yes. Alikuwa ameenda kuhudumia what do you call them? Sheep in everything Kiswahili. Hiyo.
That thing. Condo.
All right. So of course, let's kickstart the conversation. What do you think, Roy?
First, by telling you that I think where we need to start is to understand and respect the fact that a mobile phone is actually a relationship. It's the third person you're going out with. Kuna bibi na kuna mobile phone. There's a different relationship altogether. And it used to be a tool for relationships. Now it's a relationship within itself. That's where it sits currently. And I can tell you, it's a relationship that needs to be managed very sensitively. Very sensitively. And for me, what I think is, it actually represents another side of a person. Kuna Willis ambaye tunamjua, who is Willis yourself, the person we know, and kuna Willis Mabandles. Willis Mabandles is your mobile personality. I think that people exist on two personalities. Right. One thing we need to appreciate and accept: social media or digital media, whatever you want to call it, is not real. It's not a real life scenario. It is an alter ego. It's the other person you want to be or the other person you think you are. Yeah, the chicks who their hips ongezeka when they go into their phones. Below the phone, they are a completely different person. They are a bit confident, arrogant when they're on the phone. Without the phone, it's a totally humble person. So what I'm saying is two people. Since there are two people, that means you have a relationship with that person. There's a different person on the phone who actually has relationships with other people, and then there's a real life person who has relationships with other people. So there are two personalities, and I think they need to be respected and separated. So moja kona password, mwingine ana password. So Willis Mabandles has password. Willis Bilabandles, the real life one, doesn't have.
Right. And also you can join the conversation. The hashtag to use is Power Breakfast on Twitter, and the SMS line is 2242. Are mobile phones ruining or building relationships? Sheila.
I think it's yes and yes. Because
so they're ruining.
Yeah, absolutely. First, let's start with building. I mean, anybody who can tell you before mobile phones, you know, even just meeting that person, you literally had to meet once a week. You know, hey, niaje, you wait, you at the call box, you know, plan to meet, and it was such a tedious process. Now you can see the person that you love instantly. In fact, you just FaceTime with them and you get them. Is it also ruining relationships? Absolutely. There's so much secrecy. There's so much, you know, especially if you've got esteem issues, or you've got, because I think if I want to go through your phone to confirm if there's something going on there, that's clearly an esteem issue. Instead of what happened to just having the conversation, asking me, yo, what's going on? And the truth is, if you're going to go through your partner's phone, 100% you'll get something.
She'll have got something wrong there.
Even if there's nothing really going on, Willis, if your wife takes your phone right now, for whatever reason, and just decides to peruse through, there are a couple of things there that will upset her. And you see, instead of her asking you, why did she go through your phone? So for me, I feel people should respect mobile phones.
No. She's talking about the person having an esteem issue. The person who's the coward, the one checking the phone, or the owner of the phone?
The one checking the phone.
The one checking the phone is the coward.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
No, I think the one who's ready, whose phone's about to be checked is a real coward. But as I said, Willis, I do accept that it's destroying relationships. Why? Because you're going out with two people. You're going out or you're married to two people. You're married to the person on the phone, and you're also married to the person outside the phone. One thing that if you want to do and make yourself happy, and what you're looking for, so utapata kile unachotafuta.
Yes.
Right? If you decide who you want to go to, either I want to go to Willis below the phone or Willis Mabandles. Willis Mabandles is the guy on the phone, completely different character. I've just said it's destroying relationships because there are two people.
And you know, also we must put into consideration the fact that if you're in a relationship, because I feel like this is usually where the problem starts. You start a relationship with someone, honestly, they had no passwords, they were so free with their phone, it would be seated over there, you know, and then out of nowhere, you go to shika the phone, you want to make a phone call, and like it's Fort Knox, you have fingerprint, there's an elaborate, you know, pattern that you need to draw. On top of that, there's voice recognition. It's like, what the hell is going on?
You need a password, you can a password.
That's what I'm saying. For me, I feel like it's important to have that conversation. If you when we met, you have a password on your phone, it's cool. But if we've started being in a relationship 2 months in, 3 months in, 1 year in, and then all of a sudden you have a password, now that's fishy.
But what about, so what is the danger then in sharing? Okay, let me tell you
let me tell you the danger, and I've just said it from the beginning, Willis, is that they're different people. What I don't want you to discover on the phone is the other person I am.
But it's supposed to be the whole person.
Yeah. Let me tell you what has happened. Social media has created a release, an excuse for people to be someone else. The slimmer you, the better voice, everything is much better there. Who told you to me a picture? You're like, no, I didn't ask you a picture of your pet. I asked you a picture of yourself. Because the real person cannot even be sent. The person you have a relationship with, in fact, the friends you have a relationship with on social media, if you look at it, people are not themselves on their phones. Yeah? And I told you, it takes a real strong person to be the same person outside and the same person on the phone. And that's a completely different human. So when you're saying, why are we hiding? Because that other person to the feature is usually on social media completely. The Mabandos one is a very dangerous human, and that's the one you don't want. I don't want you to see. Right. And you know, I don't see you. I say it's. I want you to respect the one you've seen or the one you go to, the one you married. I don't want you to hang out to the one you're going to find on the phone. And that's why you keep asking in a relationship that, you know what, don't enter my phone is private, because these are a different group of friends who I have a different set of conversations with. I have a different XYZ with. I even dress differently. Maybe I wear thongs on the phone.
And that's the problem right there. Right there, that's exactly the reason why we're talking about the issue of passwords and making your phone. Because why are you two people? Seriously, if I knew, like, that's exactly what you call multiple personality disorder.
No, you're still disorder.
Because at the end of the day, look, if you're in a relationship with me, of course I know everything about you. Right. I should know everything about you, and whatever you want to do, you know, because now you're like, oh, I want to be able to talk to people, I want to be a different kind of person. That is the recipe for problems. Because if you have a different life, you know, different friends, different relationships will spawn off of that, because you're using your phone as a place to get, basically, for people to tell you well done.
No.
Yeah, that's what's happening.
Let me tell you the truth, Willis, that we're going to deny here. And I said to you, multiple personality disorder. You don't ugonjas awazungu. Africans don't have those ugonjas. You need to bog off. Two people in one. Yani offer. Yes. Offer. The truth of the matter is, there actually exist two forms of Willis. There's two sides of you. There's a very practical, pragmatic side to you, and there's another nature, Willis Wendazimu. Yeah. Now, let me tell you, there are two different people.
Wendazimu is my general, but
it's the one who's overpowering. That's why there's a guy who's in the office and the guy outside the office. The guy in the bar and the guy in the office. The guy in the bar is not scared of his wife. The guy in the office, my God. Yeah. And there's also now there are two women. There's usually them 9 p.m. na them 4 a.m. We could just be 4 a.m. There's that very different human from the one in the morning. What I'm just trying to say is we're two different people at times, and one of them is just a release. Yeah, one is that's why they say that when people drink, the other person comes out. And now mobile phones have given a whole excuse for the other person to have a completely full lifestyle. Yeah, they even have their own credit.
But my question is then, how come these two people
can't be one?
Can't exist as one?
Yes.
And that's exactly that's exactly what we're talking about right now when I'm saying multiple personality disorder. Look, the person you're describing is just one person. It's one person. It's just you taking that excuse to be like, no, this is my privacy, this is my phone. Going back to the point, should you share your password with your partner? Should you be free about your phone? Absolutely. I feel like if I'm dating you or we're married and you don't have any hang-ups about your phone, chances are, because that's where the problem begins. If I start seeing you at usually used to leave your phone on the table and even go to the bathroom, you'd even shower, I'd never bother with your phone. But as soon as you start, you want to go to the bathroom, umeenda na simu, you're picking phone calls outside, I want to know what's happening inside the phone, because your behavior, as Roy would put it, you're the person who's here, not the one on your phone.
Right.
The person who's here is behaving weird. You know, so it's immediately it's affecting our relationship. So if I'm not open with you, just I'll take your phone, I'll try and get the password, you know, trying to find out what is happening, which is messing the relationship. So I feel like it's better you're open about your phone.
I think it's a place to relax. Let me just say, it's just that people abusing it, but it's a place for the other personality. Yeah, it's their zone. That zone there is where it's a time of release. You know, let me tell you, even the priest after the mass or service, it's a different human dancing in the other room, doing somersaults that finally I've finished and done. Now I can be a different person who I am. I am telling you, even Sheila yana jifanya, they're like 3 Sheilas. Sheila kwanza ni kama ine.
There are 3 Sheilas.
Kuna Sheila, they are different. Either the one with unga, the one bila unga, the one, they're different kinds of Sheila. And she denies here about 4 people. And there are some parts of her that she likes to keep to herself and explore and do other things differently. The only thing I'm trying to say is that we need to respect the other person, and probably that's secret, and that's why we say, that's why we end up putting password, because we're saying draw the line, and I don't want you to see this one, because it will destroy what we like about each other.
I feel like
it's very easy to say let it be one person. I'm just saying it's very easy, but I've told you, Willis after 7 p.m. and Willis before, completely 2 different animals.
I'm just saying,
at the
end of the day, respect is a two-way street,
yeah.
Which is now bringing us back to why the hell do you have, like, what has made you all of a sudden want to get a password? And then not just, I don't have a problem with you being, it's like, if you find a guy, you know, like out of nowhere I've just bought a gun. What does that mean? Maybe security. There has to be something that has made me get that. So the fact that you're getting a password on your phone in the middle of the relationship, something has created that, and that probably there's something you're hiding from it, which is majority of the time. You understand? So when it comes to respect, as Roy is saying, you know, you must respect my space because that's where I become this and that. You must also respect the fact that I'm here watching what is happening. I'm not imagining things. You're changing. Maybe you and that person on the phone are slowly becoming one. You're starting to have a relationship online. And let's be real, Kwanza with digital right now, you can just be chilling and someone sends you a picture and, you know, hooks you in, and all of a sudden you start a relationship. You don't notice that you started a relationship there. Then you start locking me out. Of course I'm going to want to know what's happening on your phone. And that becomes the problem with men.
The problem is because
when a mama starts going through your phone, honestly, start asking yourself what you have done differently. She can't just wake up in the middle of nowhere. And women have intuition. We can see your mannerisms have changed. You're going to the bathroom, you're going to shower with your phone.
But kuna watu sawa na simu
hiyo sasa ni fishy.
But in the
phone is waterproof.
No.
Oh my God.
We have to go with it just in case that's the day the president calls. I'm not missing that phone call.
Never.
Munyesa from Makongeni says, me, I guess my wife and I, or me and my wife, you know, it depends on the name, agree to respect each other's phone, period. And life is okay, no problem. Mingine, ajawacha jana nasema sharing your pin is disaster, right? And then somebody's just asking about what about sharing social media passwords?
Yeah, that's a no.
You're mad.
That's a no.
You see, how come she's choosing which one?
No, I haven't.
Sheila knows her 6 people. Let me tell you, there's one thing she said, she talked about, she talked about why, since you know me, we should be open on everything, right? I ask people, there's basic things you do with a different personality. When you're showering, I've had Sheila singing, by the way. In the shower, it probably might be worse, So, when she sings in the shower, what does she do? She closes the door. It's not because whoever is in the room or whoever she's having a relationship with, she doesn't trust them and locks it or whatever it is. But there's just that thing where, at this point, I think I need to separate what I'm doing and who I'm with. And I think there are times at which you have to separate the person. Out of respect. I don't say because you don't see the madness in me, but out of respect, I say, this side that wants to enjoy and do these crazy things, I don't think is in respect to you. Yes? The only problem is, what is happening in modern life is we're taking it too far, as you're saying. We're beginning now to form proper relationships. If it's just jokes and having fun, yes. It's just that I think most of us don't know where to draw the line.
Right.
That's where the problem is.
So just remind guys, 2242 is our SMS line. I can see some of your comments. I always say, be civil. 2242 is the SMS line. And also hashtag Pablo, because we're going to be take a look at some of those comments as well. So my question was, so what about the guys who, like you said, so it's okay? What is your view? It's okay to share your PIN? It's not okay.
It depends on what. If you're not taking your medication, why would you do it just releasing it?
I just want to be.
Not okay.
I want to be categorical.
It's not okay because I respect the person enough not to share that side of me. Yeah.
But okay, for example, what about your ATM card? Do you share the PIN?
Now you're going from madness
to
absolute craziness.
I just want to be very categorical that I don't think it's a good idea to share your password or your PIN. It's not a good idea because that is already a recipe for disaster. What I'm advocating for is trust. You understand?
Not to check.
Just have trust. If your relationship has reached a point where I have to pick your phone to actually go through what your messages, then there has to be something you have done. It's chances are all of a sudden you have a password. You understand? I'm coming to get your phone and you have a password. As for that guy who had the question about social media, that is an absolute no-no. It's an absolute no-no. Roy, if you listen for a bit, you'll be able to hear what I'm saying. Because I'm like, if you give someone, your social media is like, do you give someone your password to, say, your e-citizen? You understand? There has to be some level of decency. My digital space is my space. It's like my office. Why am I giving you my password unless I'm dead?
She's contradicted herself. She just said that the person who's checking the phone is the person who has a problem. They have esteem issues. Yeah? Then went ahead and said, well, you're giving them a reason to check your phone. You must have done something. Just choose who's in the wrong here most of the time. The person checking or the person being checked. Because you can't say if you're both in the wrong. Where does the crime start? With me putting a password of you or you checking? I think putting a password, we have agreed, is not really the crime. The crime comes with, as you've said, at some point, the person checking. Yeah? Whether I motivate you to check is all about whether we respect each other. But the crime starts with you wanting to check.
But okay, so even as
going back to my point, you see, the person who's checking the phone, if I take your phone to check, I clearly have esteem issues. The fact that I'm going through your phone.
So this is out of the blue.
How can I be checking your phone? As in, why can't I just ask you, Willis, is something going on? And then you, from your body language and from your mannerisms, I should be able to know if there's something going on. And if I want to press that conversation, because I have said, if you go through someone's phone or or computer, you will find something. Whatever it is that you're looking for, even if there's nothing, you will find something. It is important to have that conversation. But I'm also putting it on the table that I don't think sharing of passwords is a good idea. It's not a good idea because that means you're giving the person. But if you give me your password, you're giving me the full mandate responsibility to go through your phone. I have your password.
Right.
I mean, the password is not for emergency. It's for now. Let's find out what Willis has been doing the past 2 weeks, catching up. That's a disaster. Absolutely.
What about there's interesting? Jeremy, first of all, says to protect your marriage, you. Gentlemen, I said to protect your marriage, you either shower with your wife or with your phone. Then there's an interesting comment here, a little bit sad. So someone says, I've never doubted my husband for the last 4 years. I don't know how I felt 3 weeks ago. And I started scrolling through his phone. So I found many calls from different numbers. And the most shocking thing was that the numbers belonged to social workers, or SIKU, who offer massage and other benefits and what she calls extras within the town. So for somebody like this, is this the intuition you're talking about?
That's exactly what I'm talking about, because there's something.
That's what she said. She said she doesn't know why 3 weeks. For 4 years as a check, 3 weeks ago she said,
intuition.
Absolutely. Because you know, what people don't realize, as much as you're the smartest, most conniving person out there, you think you've covered your tracks, body language, whatever you're thinking, whatever you're feeling, your mannerisms will change. So if I live with you, I know all your vibrations, I know all your frequencies, and for some strange reason you're pulling back, or there's something a bit off, I know exactly what it is. It's that intuition, and women always have it. Some women more than others, even before the intuition has kicked in, you're like, Ebu, now it's an update to check, which I feel is such a terrible idea. And her intuition immediately, she checked the phone, she found what she was looking for. And she probably wasn't looking for maybe he's cheating or something like that. It's just like there's something off. It could be, even guys, when you're struggling with finances, you don't quickly run to tell the woman. And sometimes they need to find out. I'm like, no, this guy is behaving different. And I go through the phone and I find calls from hookers.
Let me just tell you something.
I'm looking for it.
Whatever you're looking for, you will find. You'll find. Now, first of all, this sixth sense, we have to have a meeting about it. This sixth sense that women have, where the voices in the head start telling you things, yeah? First of all, let's just start with the fact that's very simple. That sense is called the sense of guilt, yeah? Women, to every woman, you're guilty until proven innocent. It works the other way around, right? So the chances are, since you've already started with a guilt angle, you're going to find a way to demonize whatever I'm doing. It is never going to turn out positively. And I've said, for the sake of respect of yourself and the person you're with, you should not have even been checking in the first place. So I'm still insisting, the first crime is not the password. The first crime is checking.
But the question is...
But now when you have a situation where you've exchanged passwords,
so
like you already have each other's passwords.
Yeah, because
what's stopping me from checking your phone?
But there's also another... Let me throw a span in the works as well. It's something that I had one of my friends saying one day that sasa uki kama some Sheila anaenda kuangalia simu ya Roy. Let's say on the off chance that there is no other man on earth and you're dating Roy. So so if Sheila is dating Roy and then Roy hana shida, but because you're doing some fishy stuff on your phone, you think Pia Roy anafanya kitu kama. So sometimes is the checking a reflection of
yourself.
It's called a is it guilty man's resort? I mean remorse, because you know it's basically a reflection of what you're doing, and that's what I'm saying. Like if couples could be more in tune with each other, sometimes you don't even need to go through the person's phone. Sometimes you just need to be like, I feel that there's something off, you need to fix it before it becomes a problem. And that's the maturity of, maturity of relationships. But what's happening right now in today's world, especially where you have, like, someone is on multiple platforms. You think that your person is only on Twitter. You get the person is on Telegram, and Telegram is the devil. Like, honestly, let me just put it out there.
No, that's a big bro.
Because the messages just disappear, so I mean, now we're reaching that stage where there's no even evidence, so if you're searching someone's phone, you check Telegram, there's nothing. But the amount of things this person has been sending, and you see, it's not even, and now we're not even talking about just young people. We're not just talking about, the young couples. We're also talking about, like, people, people's fathers, people's grandfathers who are sending, crotch pics, to
young people.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
I know relationships. It goes far. Guys who even call Mr. and Mrs. Google and just tell them, confirm your key to me, delete. Confirm, show evidence. We're going to that point where we're paranoid. But reality is, guys, let's accept that this thing has come into part of our lives. I watched a session just the other day where a couple was sitting in comfortably, not talking for periods of about, we've gone into 1 hour, 2 hours. No one's communicating. Everyone's on everyone's on their phones. They're having separate relationships going on. Then they put the phones off after a while and started communicating again. I think what needs to come is what Sheila tried to insinuate earlier, which is, since we're in the age of manifestos, make a manifesto of that marriage. That this is what's going to govern the responsibilities. Yes, we will have passwords. Yes, we'll do this. But yes, we'll also put our phones aside at a certain time and dedicate that to the relationship. Because I am insisting, the phone is no longer a tool of either communicating in a relationship, it's a relationship.
It is.
Remember, the guy who's there, does not necessarily mean he wants to have a relationship with a woman on the phone. In fact, he's actually celebrating the fact that the relationships are only on the phone. If they're to actually manifest themselves and become real, and he sees that chick coming, the Bigfoot she is, to his house, of course he'll close the door. It's like, I liked you when you were just bundles, not when you're real life.
But also,
the reality is, it's all about working your manifesto, your party in that house.
Can we also, as we're talking about the mobile relationship, can we also, I feel like it's also important to point out that what Troy has said, how couples just are not communicating because everybody's on their phone. In fact, I think one of the pictures when couples go to sleep, before it used to be like this. Now it's like everybody's facing the opposite direction, and there's like a light of the screen going on, and that already is a big problem. I mean, if you're in a situation like that where the last thing you said to each other was good night, and then good night to the rest of the people, and that's already a problem. So I think we need to separate that. But also what Roy said, how your phone is no longer just a phone.
It's a relationship.
And and we're not just talking about digital, because your phone is your companion. Now, if your companion comes in between the relationship, that's where now things like passwords become a problem. But if you're communicating with the person that you're with, your phone is just, it becomes a good thing in the relationship. Yeah. So I think it's important to note those.
I think, as you said, it's not a matter of who he's communicating with the phone that you should be worried about. I'm telling you, don't be worried about the fact that he's talking to 550 chicks or more chicks than are in a political rally. Yeah. What you should be worried about is not my fans zake, or how you woke up like this. What you should be more worried about is the fact that you made a habit of doing it all the time, to the point that you're playing second best to who the person is dogging on you with. Is not those chicks on the phone. Who is he dogging with? He's dogging on you with the phone.
I like the fact that you used the word dogging in 2017.
He's dogging with the phone.
In 2017. I wanted to ask as well.
What else is it called now?
I don't know.
I
honestly don't know. But I wanted to ask, yeah?
Just like a female dog, what the
why is it? Because I think one of the biggest challenges with the mobile space, yeah, is, you know, if like your man cheats on you, and you see the girl he's cheating on you with looks like you, then you know maybe there's something, you know, that's his type. But you find, especially like if you you know, go through his phone, the kind of chicks or things he's looking at are completely not like you.
Exactly.
So I feel like also the phone kind of opens up, why people are very secretive, especially about the phones, is because it opens you up into a new world, like your actual inner inhibitions. Because you have access to the internet. In fact, if we check, forget even messages and Twitter, check the internet history so you can get to know the person that you're with, because the kind of things that they're checking out should be able to tell. Because sometimes they're not cheating, they are just involved in crazy things.
It's because the person on the phone, the guy who, when he gets onto the phone, it's not him. That's a different person. I've told you, Willis Normal and Willis Mabandos.
Yeah.
Willis Mabandos is a different person.
Yes.
Yeah. So
and
you
we
don't
don't expect that.
The guy who's going out, the guy who's on the phone is not dogging on you. That's not the guy you're going out with. The moment he switches off the phone, that's the guy you're going out with.
Yeah.
Let me just.
Isn't that multiple personality disorder?
That's the guy who breathes on the phone, man.
Some Twitter and then some feedback during Mingi and short time. The question is, having passwords is healthy, perusing through them is immature and irresponsible. Charles Murithi, C. Mwaniki 46, and when a man is in an online relationship, a serious woman will notice the change in behavior pattern unknowingly. Alright, and then sometimes you have to put a password and save the relationship. Amen. Samuel Muhia. And then Kipletin Manuela says, women want to know our M-Pesa PIN, yet they cannot give us their social media password. Wanakatiwa tu.
Why would you want your personal social media password?
And then somebody says, so what happened to the term private property? My phone is my property and hence my password. That is Oscar. On the SMS, it's quite interesting as well. Here, Mike from Nairobi says, first of all, I concur with Sheila, Pinyako, Siriako. I was married for 10 years. The day I got tempted to go through my wife's phone, the first SMS I made was disaster. We are now divorced. I do regret having gone through, because what you don't know can't harm me. That's Mike from Nairobi. Teresa says, I think everyone is entitled to privacy. That part of yourself you can keep to yourself and must not be forced to share with everybody, including your spouse. Invading that privacy is wrong. Dan says, I was very free with my wife and realized she's snooping on my phone just to ask me, who is this you're calling? When are you at work? Why did you start attacking her? And then kumbe, it was just a colleague from work. Then somebody says, what if you caught him cheating on you and you warned him and promised not to repeat? You have to look at his phone to see whether he still communicates. Then somebody says, morning, I want to contribute to the discussion. My hubby and I know each other's passwords. The reason we have put passwords is because our baby, because we find him dialing people's numbers. He also gave me his ATM pin, and so I don't see anything wrong with that. Then Tasha kutoka Kawela anasema, me and my husband, we share one phone.
You need cost cutting.
Having and then somebody says in capital, in my room and in my own opinion, I would say this password brings problem, but in brackets on my side I have nothing to hide. I've shown my passwords, everything. How about vice versa? So I know tunaegemea upande wa mwanaume sana, but kwa wanawake je, even as we wrap up.
Look, I'm just going to say it and I'm going to keep saying it again. Kudos to that couple that is sharing one phone. I'm sharing Kabambe, because there's no way you can share one phone with Twitter, Facebook. Telegram, WhatsApp, yeah, your message ni anani, you know, it's coming in together. You know, I mean, conversations are different when they are on text. You had that guy who checked his wife's phone for the first time in 10 years. It's a no-no. Just don't do it. If you feel that there are things, like if you feel your person is behaving differently, ask them. Just ask them what's going on. Don't go through the phone. You just save yourself some mental space and heart.
Yeah, I think, as I've said, I insist, you just have to appreciate what the role of the phone is first. If you don't understand that, then you won't get it. I've told you, it's a place where people go to release themselves, enjoy themselves, and relax.
Quite literally.
Release, yeah.
Release themselves.
Quite literally.
Matalantas. So anyway, it's a place where people go and share their other talents. And those are the talents that you do not want to know he has. Right? So, as I've said, as long as you draw the line and understand, the most relationship number 1 ni wewe na yeye. Relationship number 2 ni yeye na simu yake. The relationship number 3, which is very far away and should not be worrying you, is relationship yeye na wale watu kwa simu. Those ones are not serious. They are not serious. And don't take them say, oh no, if you treat, let me tell you one thing, let me give you a secret. Sheila.
Umedanganya watu.
Ukweli, if you respect the guy's space, he will treat that space respectfully.
No, there's nothing like that.
I am telling you, most of the time, I'm just saying most of the time, it starts by, if you respect someone's space, they will treat that space respectfully. The same way, ukimwacha mtoto na sukari kila siku hata endelea kuiba.
Yo, me,
so at the end, it escalates.
Which is what happens.
No.
That's exactly what happens.
But you know how that thing starts? It starts by probing, by what? It starts creating, now it becomes a form of escape. You see, when it's a form of relaxation, it's easy, no one's under pressure. When it becomes a form of escaping from reality, now it starts becoming worse and worse. You're the one who's feeding it. And I've said again, it's about the rules you set up, your manifesto, your nyumba. Yeah, where you say, you guys enjoy your few minutes, but when I'm talking, that phone goes down.
Can I just throw in, because I know there's a lot of people who are watching right now who are actually taking what we're saying, and I feel like you must realize that the phone is an imaginary world, so to speak, and what you're talking about is someone running away from the reality. If that is happening, then there's something wrong in the present, in the reality that the person has to do. And you find most of the things that people do with digital is share body part pictures. And literally every single time, you know, a top politician has been busted or something like that around the world, it's because he was sharing pictures of, you know, himself. And in public, very many, just Google.
Why would you do that to normal citizens? You're spoiling guys' eyes.
Yeah, no, now you're sharing that because, you know, there's a lady there who told you, you're quite handsome, you know, because maybe you use the right kind of filters and
your
something.
wallet is handsome.
That's where the problem begins. Even if your wallet is not, you know, you could be struggling with brokenness. Your wife is like, oh, kwenda by there, school fees, there's all this pressure. But when you hit your WhatsApp or you hit your Twitter or you hit your Facebook, you just post a TBT from 10 years ago and just say life is good. And there's so many girls saying, oh, Willis, you look so nice. It makes you feel, all of a sudden you're like, you know, you're like, okay, let's exchange, come to WhatsApp. You know, they move from Instagram to WhatsApp. You know, so you must be aware that the problem, if you're looking to have a successful relationship online, then there must be something wrong in the reality.
And I'm saying, if you keep putting pressure under others, if you don't respect the space, it's about respecting that space, because you see the phone's not going to disappear and go away. And you exchange password, whatever, atanunua simu kama saba zitakuwa chini ya kitanda. So it's not going to run away as an entity. Mobile phones will exist for a long period of time until we invent some new invisible thing, right? And therefore, it's about respecting a tool. And I said, if you respect that space amongst yourself in the relationship, then it doesn't become an issue. Where you know what, set it aside when it's my time, do whatever it is you're doing on your phone or whatever it is, I will respect that space. But when it starts now entering relationship, it becomes an issue. It will become a problem when you make it a problem and you keep focusing on that problem. And I'm just saying, Sheila, a lot of guys, if you actually respect that space, they might tend to start respecting you. Not when I said a lot, you know, guys, even 20% is a lot.
Yeah.
I thought it's a lot. I'm just saying, I think it just needs to be dealt with a sense of respect. But to the point where we're saying, let's just keep it completely open, it is dangerous. I support Sheila, it is dangerous.
Yeah.
And it leads us. Why is it dangerous? Because it exposes the second side of every person you love.
All right.
Just, you know, to finish, mobile phones were created for communication, to enhance communication. So if you find your spouse would rather, or just, in fact, I think it's something you should both be aware of. If you get to the house and all of you just pick your phones and sit in the corner and, you know, and then the kids are over there playing on the tabs and watching TV, yeah, chances are there's a relationship that will, and it goes both ways. It's not just guys, even ladies. There's a guy there who's telling her, oh, you look very beautiful. So what is happening is, I feel like mobile relationships can only be successful if reality is also successful. Yeah. And if you're in a relationship, you're in a marriage, and you're thinking about going through your spouse's phone or your partner's phone, please don't. You're going to hurt yourself for nothing. I'd prefer if you just call the person, sit them down and tell them, this is how I'm feeling. Tell me that I am just imagining it, you know? And trust people. I mean, trust people, but also know that people are conniving. That even if you know someone, that person was in a relationship for 10 years, and the first time they checked, they found exactly what they're looking for. So don't blame yourself, but also just be aware of what is happening in the reality. Yeah.
All right. So I guess
so you have the views.
Password. No, password.
Yeah,
hashtag question mark, exclamation mark. Right. So of course, at the end of the day, like Roy said, I guess, and Sheila said, basically, kweni na manifesto yenyu, mujue the role of the phone. Once you get that, live with it. Na muzikuwa na nini na consequences and repercussions. All right. Have yourselves a wonderful day. We'll be meeting again next week on Man Cave. Pastor Kuria. Tunakuombea next Sunday. My name is Will Saburi, reminding you successful people look like you, and the great Manchester United. Freddie Nmuli is up next. Hashtag Citizen Extra.